What's going on? It's your Council Poly Rob. Welcome to another episode of the Poly Rob podcast. I appreciate everybody showing love. Make sure you like and subscribe, and all of my information on how to support the channel is right there at the bottom. Thank you for being here with me once again. Let's get right into it. Jay-Z, 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. The day is finally here. Today is the 30th anniversary of the now legendary album, Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z and Roc Nation, they have been putting together so many different exhibits throughout New York City, preferably the Brooklyn streets, you know what I'm saying, Bed-Stuy area, where Jay-Z grew up, Marcy Projects. The whole layout is just, in my opinion, creatively incredible. You know what I'm saying? So what they have been doing, if you're not in New York, they've been actually putting together exhibits that showcase a point in time when Reasonable Doubt was being put out. So when the album was dropping, they're putting together different, exhibits of, first and foremost, they actually did a remodel of the New York City train, the train that gets off at the Marcy Project stop. It's like a makeup of it. And inside the actual train, they have the windows as like LED screens. You know, they're putting, music videos from the Reasonable Doubt project. They're putting different tidbits and facts of what Jay-Z was doing at the time, things that was going on around that time. Like, it's really, really creative. I actually got a chance to see a glimpse of some of the videos online. And I think that's really, really dope and creative. Before I continue to talk about the different exhibits that they've done, let's first get this out the way. A lot of people nowadays, I'll say now because in current time, a lot of people believe that Reasonable Doubt is Jay-Z's classic album or his best album or the album that transcended through time. And although that may be true, when Reasonable Doubt came out, I was in New York. I was there. I was in Brooklyn. And I will say that Reasonable Doubt is an album that grew over time. It wasn't well received in the very beginning. To the hood, for sure. As a mainstream project, no. And most people would deem that album a flop in that time. Because around that time, this is, Biggie dropping, Wu-Tang going crazy, Snoop Dogg going crazy. These were critically acclaimed albums that did very well. The Chronic. There's so many albums that did very well. Although Reasonable Doubt sonically, in my opinion, lived up to the musicality, the lyricism, it lived up to those albums, it still wasn't a successful album in that time. I'm saying that to say, when you're serious about your craft and you deliver something that you feel like is a masterpiece, don't think because it was deemed a flop or it didn't make the most amount of money, that doesn't mean it's not, or it will not be a classic, or it will not be an album that can change lives in the future. I had the cassette tape of Reasonable Doubt. I had that cassette tape. To be perfectly honest with you, I kind of low-key took it from my friend. He was playing it so much, I was like, I want to hear that. I didn't have no money to buy the tape at the time. I was like, let me hear that. And he gave me the tape to listen to, and I never gave it back. I never gave it back. My bad. I'm sorry. To my friend out there in Brooklyn, my apologies. I'm sorry, but I never gave that tape back. I don't even know where that tape is. I lost it. It's somewhere. But it was funny because I'll say this and I'll get back to the exhibits. It was funny because the songs that I loved when I first listened to Reasonable Doubt, because I was a heavy like rewind the tape for one song or two songs type of guy. The songs that I love that I loved then when it came out was different from the songs that I loved like 10 years down the line. Other records started to grow on me. And then even now, the songs that I love now are different from the songs that I loved in the very beginning. Not saying that I don't love those songs anymore, but I have a newfound respect for other records on Reasonable Doubt. Now, because I'm older, because I understand a lot more, you know what I mean? That's what albums are all about. You know what I mean? That's what albums are all about. And that's what Reasonable Doubt is. And Jay-Z is celebrating this particular album because he said it a couple of times that this is his favorite album by way of like life's default, because he went through a lot during his time, because he was trying to get a deal around his time and people wasn't rocking with him, because of so many things that was happening in his life when he made this album. He's adamantly said that this is his favorite album. And it's his first album. So 30 years down the line, we can see how this album held up in his life, in his appreciation of the fans that stuck with him since Reasonable Doubt, because that is the thing. I am a Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt fan. It started from me with Reasonable Doubt. It didn't start from Hawaiian Sophie. To be honest with you, it actually started from, what's that record? Ayo G, can I get open? You know it. Hey, Chi, can I get open? You know it. Hey, y'all, can I get open? That was Original Flavor, the group Original Flavor, and it was featuring Jay-Z. That's where it started from. And that's where Jay-Z had the fast flow. So for me, my first experience of Jay-Z was on Original Flavor, Can I Get Open? You know what I'm saying? Featuring Jay-Z. And his verse, he had the third verse. He was snapping. He was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Reasonable Doubt, you know what I mean? And once again, I didn't buy the album. My friend had the album, and I ended up taking it from him, and I never gave it back. But yeah, from there, I've been a Jay-Z fan from there, and that's a real thing. Reasonable Doubt fans are different from the Blueprint fans, or Reasonable Doubt fans are different from the Hard Knock Life fans. That is a real thing. I might just do a blog on that. Like, what kind of Jay-Z fan are you? Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that blog. But anyway, 30th anniversary. He's put different exhibits all across New York. He actually has an exhibit where he parks a Lexus, a old school Lexus, on the same corner where the Brooklyn Bridge is above it. And it is pretty much the scene where he did one of his music videos. You know what I'm saying? Marcy Projects, you know what I'm saying? He does an exhibit over there, you know what I'm saying, around his, that's his projects where he lived at. There's a housing facility called Dumbo. And if y'all know, in the record Story of OJ, he talks about this complex where he says, I should have invested in Dumbo. I'm a Dumbo because I should have invested in Dumbo, which is a project that he should have put his money up in, and it ended up blowing up to where it's worth millions of dollars. And that was his reasoning of saying that you got to learn the business. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing an exhibit there where he has, cassette tapes of his albums. You know what I'm saying? He has headsets you can listen to Reasonable Doubt. He has T-shirts. He has, merch. It's a whole pop-up. He did a pop-up at Dumbo in New York, you know what I'm saying, in Brooklyn, and he just really tuning in with the people, you know what I'm saying? Autographs, talking to the people. He got Blue Ivy out there showing love, you know what I'm saying? Blue Ivy, of course, was born after all of the lifestyle elements of Jay-Z in Marcy, you know what I'm saying? But she gets a chance to go back with her dad and really learn about the place that he's from. You know what I'm saying? I really think that's dope. I really think that Jay-Z reliving his album is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? You could only imagine, I mean, just us as fans, what were you doing, when Reasonable Doubt dropped? What were you doing? Where did you play it? What did you play it on? I remember, I had, my brother had a Sony Walkman, and he never let me use his Walkman. But, we had a double tape deck boombox in the house. So I would play it on there. You know what I'm saying? I would play, the Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt album amongst a lot of other albums. I would play that in the house, and I would try to come home. I used to always try to come home early enough because our mom, didn't get off work until a certain time. So we had time to play and blast music in the house until she get there. You know what I mean? So I used to always try to do that. And, those were the times where, I still remember, let me just go through my memory lane real quick. Let me do this real quick. I still remember, when going to the Chinese store, you know what I mean, right under the train station. You know what I'm saying? This was when we was living on Lewis Ave. Reasonable Doubt dropper, we was living on Lewis Ave, you know what I'm saying? Off the J train, you know what I mean? And I remember the Chinese store, $4.50, you know what I'm saying? Let me get the 4 chicken wings fried hard with the shrimp fried rice, you know what I'm saying? Extra egg, extra green onions, you know what I'm saying? Duck sauce on the side, you know what I mean? Or I used to get the $3.25, chicken wings and fries special, you know what I'm saying? $3.25. You get the 4 chicken wings fried hard, you know what I'm saying? With the French fries, with the salt and pepper, you know what I'm saying? Ketchup and hot sauce. They put it in a sandwich bag. First they put the fries, and then they put the wings, put it in the sandwich bag. You pour the ketchup, you know what I'm saying? Then you pour the hot sauce, and then you shake it up in the bag, then you walk home. I was only like 3 blocks away. You walk home, walk upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Rip open the bag, you got your whole food right there. You just enjoy, you know what I'm saying? I remember those days, you know what I'm saying? Going to the deli, the local deli, as soon as we come downstairs, the deli right there on the corner store, you know what I'm saying? Getting $2.50, get a ham sandwich, get a ham and cheese, you know what I'm saying? My ham and cheese or my turkey and cheese, whichever one I got, was exactly the same way, you know what I'm saying? Mayo, you know what I'm saying? Light mustard, lettuce, tomato, that's it. Oh, and American cheese every now and then, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. And it was big. So I could eat twice off that, you know what I'm saying? So I remember those days, but those are the type of times that I was in during the Reasonable Doubt album dropping, you know what I'm saying? I used to love, like going back to what I was saying, the first record I really cling to on Reasonable Doubt, aside of, Ain't No Nigga. Ain't No Nigga was already out. Everybody was loving that. For me, that wasn't my type of record. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my thing because all the flashiness, the money and everything, girls, that wasn't my thing. I was gritty. But the first record that I loved was the first 2 records was, you know what I'm saying, Can't Knock the Hustle, and Brooklyn's Finest. Those 2 records, first 2 records on the project, those 2 records I used to play back to back. I used to rewind and play it back to back. And it's funny because at first I never knew that was Mary J. Blige singing on the hook until years later. Years later, I didn't even realize that. You know what I'm saying? I did not realize that. That was crazy. And, of course, Jay-Z and Big, I love Biggie. So a Jay-Z and Big song was that was it. I know those first 2 songs word for word. Word for word. You know what I'm saying? Then later on, and don't get me wrong, I used to play this album constantly. So I'm telling you about the songs that I cling to in different stages. First 2 songs, Can't Knock the Hustle, and Brooklyn's Finest was my 2 records. And then traveled along, I started to love The Evils and Feeling It. Feeling It and The Evils and no, it was those two records, Feeling It and The Evils. I loved that. This was like years later. I couldn't stop playing it. You know what I'm saying? And then towards when me getting like 29, 30 years old, I start loving, the records, Politics as Usual, you know what I'm saying? Which is actually, shout out to Doughboy, shout out to Doe Networks. Politics as Usual was his favorite record. You know what I'm saying? He used to play that all day. And then my brother, shout out to my brother, Brian, you know what I'm saying? He used to love Politics as Usual as well. And he used to love Feeling It, you know what I mean? So I used to start loving Politics as Usual, Let Me Do My Thing. If you think you can hang, and if not, then let me do my thing. Mannerisms of a young Bobby De Niro. Yo, Jay went nuts on that. So those two records and Regrets. Oh, and Can I Live? Of course, Can I Live? You know what I mean? Those records right there towards when me getting older, having money, spending money, working on my own craft, being a music head, you know what I mean? Moving more to production, I started to appreciate those records a lot more. You know what I'm saying? By then I I'm in LA, I'm experiencing so much other stuff, so I connected with those. But I love what Jay-Z is doing with these exhibits. He got a lot more coming because he's, these shows, Barclays Center, the anniversary tour, Barclays Center, LA, Paris, you know what I'm saying? He's really going to do his thing and really spread love of this anniversary of this album, throughout the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Do I think he's still coming out with a new album? Yes, I believe so, for sure. I mean, he can't just enjoy all of this anniversary stuff and not drop a new album. But I do think the one thing that I will say that's a slight change is I think that he's gonna drop an album. Usually he drops at the end of the year. I think that's still possible, but now with this whole tour going on, I think that he's probably gonna drop the album next year. I'm mad about that. I think he'll drop it next year. But watch my new blog. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about his new album possibly. I want to talk about that because I think he already gave us the name of the new album already. I'll talk about that in the next blog. But let me know what y'all think in the comments about the anniversary of the Reasonable Doubt album. And let me know where y'all was at. Let me know what y'all was doing. You know what I'm saying? When you was listening to the Reasonable Doubt album. Let me know what's y'all favorite records. Let me know y'all favorite records. Let's put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. You already know what it is. Workload.